of young women are reading it, which is fantastic. So we're having a bit of a celebratory hour to discuss what being a radical feminist was then and what it is now, and how can we get more of us, because there are a lot of young radical feminists. That's that. And then a little bit further away, we haven't got the official material yet, but on the 9th and the 10th of September, we're having a two-day bash in Melbourne, and I'll hand over to Susan, who will tell you more.
That's fine.
And please enjoy yourselves.
Rhythm of tree and snow, rock and air, into the mountains breathing. Now, I'm really happy to be introducing Sandy. I've long known her work and admired her as what I think of as a wonderfully bold poet. She's the author of the best-selling Poems from the Madhouse, which has been reprinted twice, I think, and Blood Relations and The Mad Poets Tea Party, which came out in 2015. Please welcome Sandy Jeffs.
First of all, congratulations, you made it. 25, how good is that? On a personal level though, Susan and Renata have changed my life. And then in 1993, when I was 40, life began at 40, Susan said she'd love to publish a book of my poetry. And so Poems from the Madhouse, in its first incarnation, was born. With Deborah Staines in the same book, but it's Poems from the Madhouse. And it changed my life, because what it did was I went from being totally and utterly invisible in the world to having visibility again. And to be visible in the world is so important as an individual. So Susan and Renata, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you did for me, because you actually changed my life. I had hope in my heart again, and that was so big. So, this little book wouldn't die. Poems from the Madhouse would not die. It then morphed into its own little publication, Poems from the Madhouse, with a portrait of me on the front, which is how egotistical is that? I still sell it. I still sell this book when I give talks, so it's unbelievable. It was quite unique at its time. There hadn't been a book about madness like this in poetry, I don't think, before, so it was quite unique. And one of the poems that used to speak to a lot of people in this book was a poem called As She Gently Brushed My Long Hair. True story, taken to Larundel, abused by the nurses on admission, in the day room weeping about late at night, and this woman came up and started brushing my hair. Only a woman could have done that. And I paid homage to her in this poem, As She Gently Brushed My Long Hair. As the solid door closed behind me and the brusque nurses led me to the locked ward, I felt the world abandon me. I felt myself abandon the world. Before me were the forgotten people who shuffled and gazed mysteriously into space. And I was no one, just another nutter, just someone caught in a cosmic game where sanity and madness are engaged in a bitter battle. But something wonderful transpired, and through my barriers came the unexpected. She spoke no English. She spoke a universal language that broke through all my sorrow and madness. And sitting in the day room weeping, I was suddenly transported to a kingdom of love, and a calm ensued as she gently brushed my long hair. I can't cut my hair now because I can't read that poem with short hair, so I'm locked into long hair forever, unfortunately. Environmental activists, geez, we need those these days, don't we? We need an environmental activist big time. Based at East Gippsland. Her poetry collection Ruby Camp, A Snowy River Series, was published by Spinifex in 1998. And her work's been published in Claudite, Plumwood Mountain and Southerly. So thank you for welcoming me to come and work
with. Thanks, Susan and Renata. Because one of the gifts of Spinifex Press actually was to publish a dear friend and I together in the same book. And it was totally by chance, really.
No.
Susan had the manuscript for some time, and I automatically thought, no, she doesn't want it, And So in the end, I got up the courage to actually email her and ask her what she had replied. and she said, oh, well, I haven't been able to find another book to go with it, and a collection to go with it, because they were back-to-back books. And I said, oh, you mean it's publishable then? And she said, yeah. And then I said, well, actually, a dear friend of mine, who we started writing together in Adelaide, Muriel Lenore, has got a manuscript completed, and she doesn't have a publisher. She's in England, but I'll contact her. And that began there. So thank you. So not only was it a gift of being published, it was a gift of being published with one of my dearest friends. So I'll start with Ruby Camp, the Snowy River series. And on the subject of gift, just to set the snowy water scene, Feldhas. Snowy River pine and xanthorrhea define the warmth gradient out of the valley. The sun works its way around the north face of old boulders and shale, goes up into steepness, abruptly, as a gift should. 2. Something attracts your interest, alert, floods through, disappears. The ordinary focuses on a tin cup near the campfire. He says, there's nothing out there, as if nothing is equivalent to the unvisited. 3. Ever present is background noise. You want to put your hands over, but the mind develops a technique for silence. Like several thousand years with the Diamond Sutra, you notice that insight has become inseparable from recognition. Like a striking place you could pull the canoe up to along a sandbar on any big bend of the river.